Journal entry, 23rd of the month of March, in the year of our Lord, 1082. Were I a pious man, I would deem the Lord to have taken affront with Mortesa, for first he went overboard in the violent storms of the Red Sea, from which we saved him miraculously, only to be then lost in a landslide in the mountains of Egypt shortly thereafter. My calculation that the Caliph had given up on his search for us to take vengeance for the affronts caused, and we might slip past quietly, was sorely mistaken. Alas, as soon as we had set foot on land, messengers must have been dispatched to Cairo. We were accosted as soon as we left the monastery of St. Catherine, and while they dared not attack us, due to our own men-at-arms guarding the train, the Caliph's men kept us within their sights. Alas, my fame may yet be my downfall. We made haste to the harbour town of Damietta, only to be served with an official letter of expulsion from the Sheikh. The Caliph's men watched as we boarded, having to pay double to the devious captain, who quickly grasped our predicament and took to profit. After an arduous journey, we have reached the holy city of Rome once more, and none of us wish to ever be on a boat again. As celebrations wound down in the tavern, Guillemette and Elchanan wished to have a word. While I not yet feel it myself, age is catching up with many in our group, and a few of us have children. I know them well enough to see their desires in their eyes. Elchanan would settle with his family, and Guillemette would enjoy the luxury of a court and as many women to warm her bed as her heart desired. Maybe it is time to set our eyes on such a prize, to enjoy our riches. Meanwhile, we have once again made our way to the main square in Rome, and let's have a quick look at the tavern and see what stories they have to tell. I still can't get a point, but we can get exotic diplomacy for a few months. And let's see if the town crier has any. Yes, he does have some lucrative opportunities. So let's see if there's anything good here. Otherwise, we will be making our way, given that everybody is getting a little homesick, back towards the direction of France. In general, we have a few young ones. We've got Shonlin, we've got Nissim, and we've got Nachman, who is the son of Elchanan, whereas the other two are from Nissim is from Eldad, and Shonlin is the daughter of Elchanan, so the second child there. But other than that, we've got a few newer members still in our group, but the original crew is getting a little on there in age. Andre is 40, Ermenegildo is 40, which is no age just yet. Guillemette is 44, and I think the oldest of us is Eberhard is already in his 50s, and he is afflicted with the great pox, so his health is, despite Elchanan's assistance in reducing that, not the best. And in general, everyone starts to feel that we have made enough coin and we should begin looking for a home. Now, where that might be is a different question. But for now, what we can do, we have here a few contracts where we might be defrauding a gillable mayor or two. But honestly, we might as well spend the time traveling north, I believe, and see if we can once again, have a look at the Holy Roman Empire and then make our way home back to France, because everyone is feeling a little bit homesick. Our first target, however, is the coastal city of Genoa, and we will make our way there while the spring is turning the landscape into beautiful colors. And we will see if we can find any secrets along the way that I can trade in for some reputation of my own. We have passed the Santa Reparata, an ancient wall, and I've got some learning lifestyle experience out of that. And we have figured out that one of the guests of the local duke may be an unbeliever. So we will immediately make that public. Where is she? There we go. We'll expose that. And that is 100. That is 100 100 prestige, and we're getting close to becoming exalted among men, despite our earlier, well, somewhat more unsavory but very profitable lifestyle. There is an opportunity, after we've talked to the local thieves guild, to probably mug a few citizens in the barony of Asti in the north. Since that's on the way, we'll just have a quick visit of the town, but then I believe we can probably make our way north. We could also abduct somebody. Not something we've done particularly often. I do have the manhaggler and I have the, where is it? Is it on the baggage? Yeah, I've got the ransom cages. The problem is nobody appears to be wanting to pay ransom for anybody these days. So despite occasional attempts, we haven't really gotten anywhere. Anyway, so we could move north towards Asti and then make our way across the mountains into the lands of the Holy Roman Empire, and then towards France, and to see what ongoings are happening in the court. We were planning to give up on the lifestyle of marauding, but my friends have convinced me that the money is just too tempting and we will probably not return here. So we may as well take what we can and give nothing back. So in that regard, we will take on the contract. The notices that Duke Pierre had hung hold truer than expected. Asti seems to be experiencing a barrage of petty crime. Even just making our way into the city, we're able to count a dozen pickpocketings and one outright mugging. Far too much work for the beleaguered householders of the Duke to deal with. A perfect environment for enterprising freebooters like ourselves to make a little coin. And apparently, the people have, well, a lot of rich merchants around here. I will have to change my clothes to blend in a little bit better at some point, because right now I'm still wearing the garb that I had acquired in the East. But let's get on with it and make a bit of coin and then make our way out across the mountains before winter hits us once more. Thus, our pockets considerably filled. We will be making our way across the Alps towards the barony of Bern, and from there on we shall see what news we will know. And we will make our way further north, if expedient, unless we can find some occupation for ourselves, while we head towards the homelands of France. For now, our camp has moved to Bern. We are still good on supplies, and I am still three away from Seducer, so there's still a bit more practice to do in that regard. Let's see what we have available here. We could burn some properties, but that would get us back in the... it doesn't pay particularly high, and it would get us back into the bandit branch, which we have just managed to get pretty down to nothing. So thievery would be more my métier. But for now, let's have a quick look at Bern Castle and see if there's a story to be heard. We got one stewardship skill out of that, not bad. And a town crier might have... we could get a legitimate intrigue contracts for a change. That would actually be not a terrible idea in order to improve my reputation and to gain access to the to gain access to the noble houses of Europe once more after I've been away for so long. So let's see what we have available to us. Now we could head south towards Provence, and that does not pay an awful lot, and do some spy work, or we could do the same in the north at the barony of Klingenberg. Actually, and the barony of Erbach, which is a similar, that pays slightly better. The Prince Bishop Tedicio might have a contract for us. Yeah, not a lot of opportunity here. So yeah, given that we're still in summer, we might just move through the foothills north towards the capital of the Holy Roman Empire. And I have cut my beard a little and my hair as well, and once more dressed in a more appropriate fashion after people have been looking at us like I was traveling with a circus. Autumn sees the peasants bringing in their harvest, and we are once again in relatively familiar lands and have arrived at the barony of Erbach. Meanwhile, we have learned a secret, so let's make good use of that as we are. The mayor of Weinheim is having very interesting, as the maids have reported, very interesting bedtime manners. So in the dark he does things that are frowned upon, and we shall expose him, of course, which, given that he's a mayor, we have gained 200 prestige. Now, having arrived in Erbach, there are a few other opportunities we could, but I think the spycraft is probably the best way we can go about this. I'm wary to visit the emperor himself. However, there should be nearby my old my first attempt at getting what I'm not supposed to have, Princess Adelheid of the Holy Roman Empire. So maybe, I don't know, I don't think she forgot me, but maybe, given that I am by now a dashing rogue, I can have once more an attempt, while we're here doing some contracts, at leading her astray. Unfortunately, my advances were immediately rebuffed, and it seems that the guards definitely have not forgotten me, and she wishes to have no further dealings with one as myself. Well, her loss. Instead, we will do some honest work for a change for the Prince Bishop of Erbach, and get to know the local nobility a little bit better. He calls for educated reports of the happenings going on around his capital, because there are all sorts of charlatans eager to earn easy coin for a stilted rumor or obvious fabrication. Okay, we will go around, and we actually have a fair bit of traveling to do. So that'll bring us all the way north towards the coast in order to learn some secrets of what goes on in these regions. Arriving in the bishopric of Worms, sadly there's little talk of anything of consequence. There's the usual stew of petty dramas among the commoners, but nothing especially salacious or interesting, which is a problem because it makes strangers turning up and asking questions an unusual occurrence. Still, we have to scrounge whatever information we can from this humdrum town. I can do an intrigue, a diplomacy challenge. I can just outright interrogate him, or I can simply leave him. No, I think intrigue both give us 1 intelligence, so we'll put our ears to the ground and see what we can find. And we have found a few useful things. As we pass through the city of Rüsselsheim, a jubilant local approaches my entourage. His smile stretches from ear to ear. I discern that he is offering a warm welcome, but the finer aspects of his speech are sadly lost on me. Be that as it may, I wave away my attentive companions and return his joyful greeting. I can hardly imagine a more excellent chance to practice my High German. Yes, because I am actually learning High German from Cecily. I can get a learning challenge, which would significantly, or I could bring him along. No, he's way too honorable for our trade. I can attempt to engage Gottschalk in an amicable debate. 85% is not bad. Worst, I lose a month, but we will see. Yes, I have an engaging debate with him. And now all the excitement in Frankfurt at present directly solely towards an upcoming lesser feast that Princess Adelheid intends to hold. Yeah, she should have not rejected me. Now she is going to see what I am capable of. Sadly, the affair will apparently be just grand enough that it has managed to capture the imagination of every halfpenny rumour monger chattering gossip and eavesdropping gutter snipe across the city. All talk is focused on who is likely to be invited and who not, what food will be served, what entertainment the Princess Bishop will put on. Not exactly the best environment to be probing for more strategic information. However, I shall not attempt diplomacy against her. I shall simply put my ear to the ground, and we learned something, and now she has, I believe, a rather negative opinion of us. It probably comes in after the contract's finished. So, that's what she gets. She shouldn't have rejected me. Now we're making our way northwards. It's October colors the fields golden, and we have arrived in Zutpen. Sadly, nothing's going on there either. But we are very good at figuring out things. So we've got another piece of intelligence, and we have excelled at the contract. That has given us 64 coin, which is very much not an awful lot. But we can, given that he owes us now, we can demand payment from the Prince Bishop. We should immediately do that to further line our pockets. And with that, I think my language studies are almost coming to an end, and we are making our way back towards Erbach. There we go. Just as winter has set on and snow begins covering the landscape once more. We have set up winter camp in the barony of Lautern, and there are a few people around here who still owe me money, and who still owe me a favor. So I think we can call in some of these. And let's see, we've got the Prince Bishop of Mainz. He owes me. He can pay me 50 coin, and I shall forget about that favor he owes me. We've got Count Ruprecht. He can pay me 28 coin, and we shall forget about that favor. And Prince Bishop Tedizio. He already paid us extra, but a little more cannot harm. So let's take what we can. And then once the snow, we should probably celebrate Christmas here, and once the snow is letting up, we will make our way west towards the homelands of France. After lots of hard work, I finally learned the High German language. Endless hours practicing accentuation, sleepless nights mimicking inflection, countless lessons mastering intonation. It was all worth it in the end. Okay, so Cecily has... the wife of Ermenegildo, has taught me High German, so I feel very accomplished. And with that, we are free to pursue other personal exploits. The snow falls thick and heavy, and Guillemette has fallen ill, my friend and second. So I'll challenge her to a board game in front of the camp to distract her a little. And in general, to see who of us, obviously I have a bit of an advantage, but I think she's not that sick, so we will definitely be getting somewhere there. Let's see what that will look like. Guillemette takes her seat opposite me. Our little game of chess is about to begin, and a quailing pout tells me exactly how confident my friend is. I'm not entirely sure what that's meant to be. It's highlighted, but I can't do anything. She goes first, opening with several blandly standard moves. We're neck and neck, though neither of us is even close to victory. Do you think chess is good practice for real administration? I questions my opponent idly. I've always rather thought so, not that I'm implying anything by it. I could go with a martial challenge. Okay, let's see. So I'm challenging Guillemette here. Martial would be 1710. I could do an intrigue, but obviously she is as skilled in intrigue as I am. She is my teacher after all. Or I could challenge her on learning. I think learning is where I have the biggest advantage. So I'm going to go for a learning challenge and see how that goes. Our match marches on, Guillemette continuing with a variety of cunning feints and ploys. We're neck and neck, though neither of us is close to victory. Not much of a strategist, are you? Chortles my opponent. Okay. Well, we could keep going with learning challenges. because that's a 10 difference. On intrigue, we only have a 9 difference, and on martial, we only have a 7 difference here. So I'm going to stick with learning challenges and see where that goes. Our match marches on. Guillemette continuing with a play straight out of Legend. Naturally, my techniques cunningly foil my opponent. I'm in the lead for now, though neither of us is even close to victory. Yep, we'll continue with the learning challenge, and we will see where we get. She's continuing with several well-executed adaptive strategies, but I'm still foiling her. Damnation, chuckles my friend. You don't ease up at chess for anyone, do you? I am unparalleled in the theory of chess. And we both stare at the final piece. I did it. I've won. The game of chess is mine. Another fine victory on my indisputable rise towards the role of king of games. She remains seated, sand in her haunches, trying to comprehend where she went wrong. She is holding a bit of a grudge about this. I am not obviously going to insult her, but I could challenge her to a rematch. But I would just say generally that was a good game, and now we can make our way out of there. But not before dealing with some unfamiliar Russians. I have another perk in Intrigue, and I think, Smooth Operator is what I want. Mortal Adoration isn't really that helpful, but I think, Seduce Scheme against Rulers is quite an interesting option. Give us weak hooks that I can then ask them to pay me off for. But Smooth Operator is what I want next, and then eventually we want to get towards Seducer. That is the ultimate goal in here, and then we'll go back to the scheming part. I am trying to repair my friendship with Guillemette, who has taken her loss not particularly well, and we are making our way to the city of Vitry-en-Portois, and we are finally once more in home country, in French territory, and hopefully I can repair my relationship with her. As we make our way through the French countryside, English troops are ravaging the lands, and William the Conqueror. And overall, it is a difficult time to be. And now that once more snow is beginning to fall, it's a difficult time to make a living. So we will have a look. We've moved to Berlac Castle. We'll have a look, and no, that's. I do still have to complete the Blade Master training. How far am I? 84. So I need 16. Too short, but I'll take it for now. And with that I will need one more training session to become a legendary Blade Master, and then we will see what else we can do. However, with the English ravaging the lands, we do have to keep a bit of a low profile. It is an insecure time. I have found that my hair is growing sparse. I am not even that old yet, and that's why I have taken to wearing a fancy hat, and I am dressed as a French nobleman from the countryside. We will see what kind of opportunities that will unlock for me. I have managed to mend my relationship with Guillemette, who had been developing a little bit of a grudge after losing the game of chess against me and being shown in front of the whole group that I am a master of the game. So we're once again friends, and we have made our way south towards the Duchy of Toulouse after the lands in the north are somewhat ravaged from various battles. The French are not doing too well by the looks of it. King William the Conqueror has definitely the numerical superiority against the French defender, and King Philippe of House Capet, who has imprisoned his wife at this point, is on the losing end. So we will probably spend the winter here, and we have visited the court of Duke Raymond of Toulouse. Now, the Duke is well known for, being somewhat ill, and being somewhat easy when it comes to women. That said, at his court, I have made the acquaintance of Élie de Bourgogne. She is of House Bourgogne, of the house of Prince Robert II, and as such has an interest, or her house has a bit of an interest in the upper class in France. So getting to know her a little bit better. She is relatively trusting. Getting to know her a little bit better might introduce me into some interesting circles, because the House of Bourgogne is is currently at the head of Prince Robert the Old of France, who is, if we're looking at the whole house tree, who is the father, no, so he's the uncle of the current king, King Philippe. He's the brother of the King Henri of France, the previous king. So as such, House Bourgogne has close connections to the royal family. And we shall, that said, we shall see if we can impress the betrothed granddaughter, and see if we can get to know her a little bit better. Yeah, contracts have completely dried out here, so we'll have a quick look at the castle, and I think I need one more training session, and with that I should have the legendary blade. Yes, I have the legendary blade master trait for additional prowess, and we are done with that. Let's have a quick look at the tavern and see what else is new around here. Don't have any stress to lose, so not an awful lot. And maybe any contracts on the underground? No, it's really just above board, and very, very quiet, the criminal underground in the area. So we'll spend the winter, and I shall see if I can have some fun and get myself introduced into House Bourgogne. One more point of intrigue for the mortal adoration, and after that I can unlock the seducer trait, and we are very close to the exalted among men, which I think once we achieve that, then we can follow our dream and see if we can get a little court of our own and find a way to get everybody to settle down, and for my friends and my followers to finally have a life in peace. Eberhard still struggling with the pox and old age, our camp priest, but we'll see if we can manage to settle before he is going to, well, before he's going to die, either of old age or of his illnesses. I have made my way to the court of Toulouse in time for the dance at the castle. I secured an invitation, for I have to see Élie. She looks resplendent, and when we finally have a moment to ourselves, I offer my suggestion. So I can ask her to join me. She likes food, and she's trusting. She's just, which we'll have to paper over. I think I'll provide her with some more food. I think she will appreciate that. And then we will see where that leads us. I had the servants bring more food for Élie and myself, and as the evening went by, we delighted in every delicious dish that the cooks of Toulouse have to offer. That woman certainly has a taste for the finer things in life. And with that, we have snuck away from the castle. We've met in the woods, and after the feast, she has been more than willing to, spend a bit of quality time with a dashing rogue from foreign lands, and this has introduced me into the House of Bourgogne. So I will make her my lover, actually, at this point, and I think that just so I can see her again when the needs arise, and I would like to keep the contact, and we will see if we can make our way into the upper class in France.